dancing. Hello everybody and welcome to my dojo. Today we're going to do some warm-ups. This is a warm-up that I usually do at the dojos with the little ones there, and it's quite simple. It's basically body movement. We're just getting our bodies conditioned to do the movements in learning. What we do is we warm up, and this is how I do it. I start with a natural stance, feet, no wider than your shoulders. Preferably, I like telling the kids when we're in a natural stance, if you point to your toes should be underneath your armpits. So that's your natural stance. If you draw a line, your toes would be right under the armpits. So you don't want to be wider than your shoulders or too narrow because your balance will be off. So natural stance, be toes right underneath the armpits. And we start basically with our hands tucked into our belts. I like putting my thumb inside my belt, and posture, nice and tall, nice and straight, and we're going to warm up the neck area. So we do 2 circles, very, very easy. And for today, for fun, I'll count in Japanese, so you can start learning a little bit of how to count in Japanese. We'll go to 5. So I start with full circles. We'll go to the left first. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. And then the other way, ich, ni, san, shi, go. And from there we go to, I like to fondly call them the I don't know. When you're a kid, hey, who broke the lamp? And they do this, I don't know. So it's a warm up. So it's rolling out the shoulders. We'll go backward, counterclockwise and clockwise. Ready? Ich, ni, san, shi, go. And the other way, ich, ni, san, shi, and go. And once that's done, we go to the next exercise. You're doing a windmill. We'll go 5 clockwise and 5 counterclockwise on each arm. We'll go counterclockwise first. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. And then the other way, ich, ni, san, shi, go. And then the other one, ich, ni, san, shi, go. And backwards, ich, ni, san, shi, go. And there's a few things you can practice on top of the warm-up. I like to tell the kids to practice their shuto, the way they hold their shuto while they're doing it, and try to get the full range of motion. So the shoulder gets warmed up, full range of motion. Once the legs are warmed up, the kicks tend to be kicked a little higher, and they're less likely of you getting injured or spraining or straining a muscle. So stretching is very important. Not so much when you're young, but it's good to learn these things. As you get older, it's more valuable. I remember as a kid, I hated doing those things because I can just go. But then you grow up, you get older, and you need to warm up, because if you don't, things rip and break. So it's one of those skills that we learn. You not necessarily need to know them now, but it'd be a good idea, but you'll appreciate them a little later in life. Another stretch, just if it's a leg day, I would just do things like grabbing your leg, pulling it up, right? Pulling it in, things like that on both sides. And I generally do stuff like bringing the leg in this way, pulling it, then out to this side, and pulling it. And again, it helps with balance, and then just flipping over to the back and holding. Maybe one of the challenges, sort of like a yoga thing, is to come down. And with practice, you become great, and all of a sudden your kicks are up. The young kids love kicking, and they love kicking high. This is one of the ways that your stretching will help your kicking. A lot of my stretches come from yoga, and we like to do this one called frog. And basically you're just sitting back with your knees open and pressing down. Pressing down. That should loosen up or stretch out your hips, the inner part of the hips, and just get those warmed up. And maybe even if you want to drop to your forearm or even flat down and push back. It's a very good exercise to get those hips loosened up, coming back. I like to call this position the samurai position. It's called sazen. It's basically clearing the mind And more formal introduction to a class would include getting into this position, meditating for 4 or 5 breaths. Once you open your eyes, your mind is set and ready to do class. Getting up from this position should be done without using the hands. Again, you're doing martial arts or you're doing karate, and you should always be thinking of protecting yourself. So as you get up, you want to bring your arm up. The same arm that the first leg comes up. So if you're coming up from your right arm comes up. If you're coming up from your left. Since we use our left most of the time when we started karate, I like coming up from the left side. So my hand and my knee would come up. It's in the ready position, right there. If I'm sitting there in that position, someone's attacking me, I'm in the ready position to block and retaliate. So that hand comes up here, and then I push up with the other foot, come up to here, and then my hands are in the ready position. When the command of Kyutsuki comes along, my feet come together, Rei, and I would bow, and there I am. So that's one of the things that we like to finish when we're coming up. And then the most important part, where we use a lot of our movement, our hips, on our punches and our kicks. Everything we do comes from the hips. So I do this little hula hoop exercise. Pretend you have a hula hoop, and you just do the hula. So here we go. Each knee, feet planted, sun, shi, go, and then the other way. Each knee, sun, shi, and go. From there, we put our feet together. We're in the attention stance, the Kyutsuki stance, and we'll bend, and we'll do that same exercise with our knees. Each knee, sun, shi, go, and the other way. Each knee, sun, shi, go. And then one of the challenges, balance. So we're going to do a little balance and a little ankle warm-up. You lift your leg up, and you try to stay in balance. A lot of our kicks start this way, so I always tell the kids that you should have your coffee cup on there, drinking your coffee or your apple juice or orange juice, and your legs should be there. We're going to warm up the ankle and do ankle rolls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and switch. Again, it's very important that you get your knee up. This is basically the position your knee has to be in for every kick we do. And you'll see that as we go on and we learn. One of the first things we do is we bring our knee up, and you have to have balance. Notice I sway a little bit, okay? That's okay. With time and practice, you get better. I have to pull up my pants a little bit just to get my knee up there. And the same thing. We're going to do the roll. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This can be the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And basically that's my warm-up of the body and the major joints that we have to move in karate. Our shoulders, our ankles, our hips, our head. I'll demonstrate 10 knuckle push-ups. It's not the old days where we do it on plank wood floors or cement. Those little delicate hands for the youngsters there will get ruined because they're developing. You can do regular push-ups on your hands, but some of the kids that are more advanced and more advanced learning, we used to do knuckle push-ups so that our push-ups would help us with our punching. We'd focus on the 4 knuckles. We have nice padded 1-inch dense foam here at the dojo, so when the kids do it here, at least they're not damaging their hands. Back in the old days, they do it outside in the grass or the rocks, or there were crazy things happening. Planks of wood, and they'd smack their hands to condition. But those are different times, and today are different days. So here's my version of our knuckle push-up. Ready? Each knee, sun, shi, go, roku, Sichi, Hachi, Ku, Ju. So one of the exercises I enjoy making the kids do, not exactly do myself, is jumping jacks. And typically it's a good exercise one for cardiovascular timing. And I get them to repeat the Japanese. So I'll be talking to Japanese or counting to Japanese at the best of my ability. It's not the greatest, but I'll do that for you today. So we'll count to 25, we'll do 25 jumping jacks. A lot of my clients are 4 years old, so their ability to move and keep in sync is one of the reasons why they're here. Start with our arms and legs closed. And then we jump to the open position. So our legs are open, arms are open, and closed. Because sometimes some of the kids, their legs are here and their hands are here, or we're doing all kinds of things, they're dancing, and then I have to stop and get them to do it properly. And sometimes it takes a little bit of time to get that coordination going. So we'll do 25 jumping jacks. And here we go. Each, ni, san, shi, go, roku, sichi, hachi, ku, ju, juich, junin, jusan, jushi, jugo, juroku, jusichi, juhachi, juku, niju, nijuich, nijunin, nijusan, nijushi, and nijugo. And there's 25 jumping jacks counted for you in Japanese. So one of the things we do is we'll get on our belly. Now there's a problem. Our belt, our knot. So what we do, so it doesn't interfere, is we just move it to the side or to the back. So when you're landing on your stomach, you'll be flat. And we do a little exercise I like to call Superman. So we're on our bellies and we lie flat with our hands up. And then I yell, Superman. So what happens is we put our arms and legs up and we just hold it up. But then I say it's rocky, or there's a little turbulence, and see what I get to do? I'm rocking. So we try to rock, and then if we want to go real fast, we put our hands behind, we rock, and rock, and rock. As long as we keep our feet, our thighs off the ground, and our chest up as much as we can, that's a good thing. And from there, I'll say relax, and they do this, oh, which is not what I want them to do. I want them to get ready for cobra. So you put your hands beside your chest like you're doing a push-up, but you want to keep your thighs down and push up and stretch. And I tell them, imagine looking behind, try to look at their feet, and they yell out they can't do that and the whole thing. But it's a good little game, get them to stretch and do things they're not used to doing. Then once that's done, I like calling this the calf roundup. So what you want to do is you want to bring your feet up and grab the other one and stretch and rock and stretch. And once that's all done, they can get up. Try to get up without using their hands. This is one of the things that we do. So we're on the ground and I say get up without using your hands. And all of them start trying to get up this way. So they have to find a way without using their hands. If you want to see how I do it, comment below, and maybe I'll show you. It's a secret.